Hey everyone, welcome to Rainbow Tarot UK. I'm Nev, and in today's pick a card reading we are doing then versus now. So how did your person feel about you then versus how they feel about you now? Is there a change? And we've got 3 piles to choose from. We've got pile number 1, which is the Rainbow Tarot with this little silver key here. So that's pile number 1. Then we have pile number 2, which is the Steampunk Tarot with this pendant. Now, this is the side that has the moon, and on the other side it has a star or stars. So there you go. That's the Steampunk Tarot, and then the third group is the Cosmic Cycles Tarot with this kind of like little it's like a little sort of stone, really, a nice little multicoloured stone that I've got in a kind of cone shape. So there you go. Those are your 3 piles to choose from. Just go for the one that feels right, and that will have your messages. And I'll see you really, really soon in your reading. Bye for now. Hey pile number 1, welcome to your readings. So today we're doing a then versus now reading. So you chose to come into the reading under the Rainbow Tarot with this little silver key here. There we go. So let's put the key where we can see it, which is just there. Okay, so we're going to be doing a then versus now. So let's get straight to it. And I just want to say I hope you're all good. I hope everyone is well, happy, healthy, all of that. Please do let me know in the comments how you're doing. I just want to say thank you so much for all your lovely comments and support. Really appreciate that. And to remind you, of course, that it's a general reading. So please just take the messages that feel right. If they don't feel right, they might be for somebody else that's watching. And also it's timeless. So this reading should be fine for whenever you catch it, whenever you watch it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how they felt about you then. And then look at how they feel about you now, and is there any changes or what's the difference, if there is any. So let's get straight to it. Now, before we do the tarot, I'm just going to get a couple of oracle cards out on how they felt about you then. Okay, so let's start off with these ones. So for pile number 1, please, can you tell me, how did their person feel about them then, back then, whenever them was, whenever you're thinking about then, so when you first met, or when you first went on a date, or when, that kind of then, how did they feel about pile number 1, please? How did they feel about pile number 1? Let's have a look and see what that one is. So how did they feel about pile number 1? So we've got house, the 10th house, or house 10 with structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. So we've got this owl and this rose, haven't we? All right, so let's leave that there. Right, okay. Sorry, I was just looking at that. All right, and let's see what we got here. So how did they feel? Let's get these ones. How did they feel about pile number 1 then? How did they feel about pile number 1 then? Oh, that one slipped out. Let's have a little look. How do they feel about pile number 1? We've got the grapes, which is abundance. Okay. Okay, so let's get some tarot out before we say anything. Okay. Right. So how did they feel about pile number 1 back then or then? How did they feel about pile number 1 then? So we have the 6 of Swords, the Moon, the King of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and the 9 of Cups. Oh goodness, okay. And the overarching energy is the 4 of Pentacles. Right. So back then, when you were thinking about, the then that you're thinking about, this person definitely saw you as some sort of dream, some kind of wish. So they felt very romantic towards you. They felt like they wanted to approach you or make a move on you or show you how they felt about you. You were a bit of a wish fulfillment for them with the 9 of Cups here. They felt a huge amount of desire for you with the King of Wands, because that is all about desire, passion, chemistry. But with it being the King of Wands, it makes me feel like maybe they wanted to, make this concrete or make this situation more than just like a romance, or more than just like something, that was fleeting. Because all this makes me think, structure, discipline, accomplishments. It makes me think that they wanted to create something stable with you. And the Four of Pentacles does show stability. It shows being very rooted, being very grounded, holding on to something tight. So basically they wanted to hold on to the connection. They wanted to have the connection. They wanted the connection to be stable. But I feel like maybe there were some challenges in it with the Moon card here, or maybe there was something about it that was pulling them but also making them feel fearful, or maybe there was something mysterious about you or something out of reach for them. So maybe you were somebody that was out of reach. With the Abundance card, it tells me that they wanted to have abundance with you. They wanted to have a lot of you. They wanted to create a very warm connection with you. They wanted to, have a lot of you. But there was maybe something about you with the Moon card that was either mysterious, or there was some fears attached to them, or to the situation for them. They had some fears, some doubts, some worries, but they felt very called to it. Six of Swords is about movement towards something slowly. So maybe this person was thinking, well, I want to move towards pile number one. I want to do it slowly. And it could also be that back then they were trying to create a more harmonious connection with you. So they were trying to, so maybe if back then there was some doubts or some fears, or you were going through some troubles or difficulties, or it wasn't out in the open, for example, or there was something tricky about it, then the Six of Swords is about moving away from difficult energy, or away from troubled energy, into something better, into something calmer. So I think back then they might have been trying to create a situation with you which would be abundant for them, which would be a wish fulfillment for them, where they could show you how they really felt about you, be open maybe with how they really felt about you, show how romantic they felt towards you with the Knight of Cups. And maybe that was a move away from what it had been previous to that. So they wanted to move it on to something calmer, something better, and get rid of any doubts or fears or troubles or uncertainty, or anything like that, or maybe just move it out into the open. And maybe at that point it was possibly governed by some stubborn energy, where it wasn't moving or some things weren't happening. So this person was thinking that they wanted to move it along. So something like that. That's kind of what I'm feeling here about how they felt about you then. But they felt very positively towards you. Even though there might have been some fears, some doubts and some uncertainty, overall they felt like you were a wish for them. Maybe it was a secret situation back then, something like that. And but they felt very passionate towards you. They felt very romantic towards you. Maybe they wanted to make a move. Maybe their feelings were secret about you. Maybe they had secret feelings for you, something like that. But you were somebody that they really wanted and aspired to, and they wanted to hold on to that. They wanted to have a lot of you. They wanted to have a huge amount of you all the time, maybe. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here. So what do we have in terms of zodiac signs? So we've got Pisces. We have got, we've also got Capricorn energy, and the other water signs of Cancer and Scorpio. All the fire signs here of Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. And we've got Aquarius energy. So I think even though, so if there were doubts or fears or anything, or that kind of feeling with them, they wanted to overcome that. They wanted to overcome that because they saw you in a hugely romantic way, and somebody that they really wanted to have. Maybe a connection that they wanted to master here with the King of Wands. maybe that they wanted to take charge of, that they wanted to show that they were in control of, or not really in control of you in a negative way, but show that they could step up to the plate and offer, you know, offer something really good for you or really good towards you. Something like that. They wanted to show themselves in their best light to you. So that is how they felt about you then. Now, let's take some time to look at how they feel about you now. Is there any difference? Let's have a look. So let's get some cards out, some oracle cards. So how does pile number one's person feel about them now? How does pile number one's person feel about pile number one right now? How do they feel about them? I feel like it's actually, no, yeah, that one. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the two of them because I feel like both of them are calling me, so I'm going to do that. How do they feel about pile number one now? So we have persist, may your ripples build the swell, and then we have fluid. May you shift and transform. Right, okay, interesting. So let's get out one of these cards. How do they feel about pile number one now? How do they feel about pile number one now? How do they feel about pile number one now? And we will definitely have some messages on how they feel about you now. So hang on till the end because I'm going to be doing those at the end. How do they feel about pile number one now? Unity. Pyramidal orchid. Now, funny enough, I recently did a reading on, I think it was true feelings and intentions. And I'm pretty certain, was this one of the main cards on it? It might have been. So if you feel called to listen to that reading, which is on, I think it's on true feelings and intentions, it might be a few videos back. I think that's one of the cards, but I can't be certain. But anyway, that's just a reference that you might want to listen to that with, if that's the main card for it. But let's ask, how are they feeling now? Because it might give you more reference on how they're feeling now. Let's get some tarot out. So how are they feeling now towards pile number one, please? How are they feeling now? So we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, so we've got the Eight of Wands. I'm going to push these up so we have got some more room here. All right, okay. The Eight of Wands. How are they feeling now about pile number one, please? We've got the Eight of Swords, so a lot of eights. Okay. Let's have a look. What else have we got? We've got the Two of Wands. I might move these along a little bit, actually. How are they feeling now about pile number one? How are they feeling now? We've got the Fool. And we've got the Four of Cups. Interesting. So we've got the Four of Cups again on how they're feeling now. And that was the overarching energy for them. And then we've got the Lovers. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. What's that underneath there? And we've got the Ten of Cups. Wow. Okay. So they are... well, I mean, with the Lovers and the Ten of Cups, I would say that they feel... I would say that their sort of love was always there then, but it's, I feel like maybe it's deeper now. They've got like a deeper sense of love towards you. I think they realise that with the Ten of Cups here, that you are someone that makes them feel incredibly happy, that gives them an excess of happiness and joy, because the Ten of Cups is like the happiest that you can be, really. And also the Lovers card is the overarching energy. Well, the Lovers card in a love reading is just a beautiful energy, isn't it? Because it's about, you know, a really strong bond, and you can see in this Lovers card here this beautiful strong bond that exists, or that they feel exists between you and them. So I would say that the way they feel about you now is that they know that you are the person for them, with the Lovers card here, that you make them incredibly happy, or you make them feel incredibly happy. There's all this Wands here. So we've got the Eight of Wands, we've got the Two of Wands. There's a huge amount of passion for you still, a huge amount of desire and attraction still for them in the connection. The Eight of Swords, though, maybe they feel a little bit stuck somehow. So I don't know why we've got the Eight of Swords there. I might actually extend that. But they feel somehow that there's a stuckness, though. So maybe with the Four card here is also about a new beginning. So maybe something's happened in this situation where it's got a little bit stagnant or stuck, because right next to it is the Eight of Wands, which is swift movement. So I'm feeling maybe this person wants to move this connection on in some way, or maybe it's doing something to relieve a sense of stuckness. So although it's a huge connection for them, they have a very strong feeling for you, and they know that you give them a sense of joy and a huge amount of happiness. There might be something in it now where they feel a sense of stuckness somehow. The Two of Wands as well and the Lovers card can also mean choices. So maybe there have been choices in this situation for this person. Maybe there are options or something like that. But I feel like this person is believing that they want to choose you with the Lovers card here, because you've got the Ten of Cups underneath it. So there could have been some stuckness, or there could have been some uncertainty, or there could be some uncertainty, but with the Two of Wands, or some choices maybe. But with the Fool card, I think that they are choosing you, and they want to have a new beginning with you, or a new chance with you. So maybe if the situation, you're with this person and there's been a threat to the situation, or there's been something that's got in the way of this situation, then I feel like this person is choosing you. And I think the way that they are choosing you is by showing you how much you mean to them. So if they've made a mistake, or they've made you doubt them in some way, or made you doubt the relationship or the feelings, or they've been doubtful about the connection, or they haven't been very attentive to the connection somehow, I feel like the way that they're going to show you is by demonstrating their passion, by demonstrating their desire, by having a newfound energy for the connection, by again showing with the Four of Cups that they want to hold on to the connection. So it could just be for some of you that there's something about it that's going on now in the connection which has caused you to question the connection, or doubt the connection, or doubt their sort of sincerity, or doubt their commitment. And it could have been because this person, you know, maybe has thought that they had other choices, or has gone, you know, basically just thought that there were other things out there for them. They're now realizing that they don't want that they want to choose you, and they want to have a new beginning with you, and they want to hold on to this connection. And they're going to do that by demonstrating with passion, with, you know, desire, with they're gonna basically be focused. I think they're now going to change their focus. So I think they've always had love for you. They've always seen you as a wish fulfillment. You always bring them a lot of happiness. But maybe now in the connection, maybe the connection has just been tested a little bit, or they have maybe had some doubts, or there's been some sort of stuckness to it. Maybe it's just got stuck in a rut or something like that. But they still feel that you are the one for them, but maybe they've kind of like not shown that as much. But I think that they want to change that by showing you again that they want to be focused on the connection, that they want to show passion again for the connection, that they want to choose you again, that they want to have a new beginning with you, a new start, because you are still the one for them, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of what I was going to extend that Eight of Swords, wasn't I? Let's just do that. So what's that Eight of Swords about? What's that stuckness about for them? Why do they feel stuck in the connection, and why do they think the connection is stuck? The Devil card. So maybe there's some negativity in the connection, or at the moment, or some something like that with the Devil card, some sort of negativity, or some toxicity, or some other temptations, possibly. Maybe it has walked away. Maybe the situation is in separation. So maybe then, when you're thinking back then, you're thinking when you're with them, and now is when you're apart. So maybe you're apart in the situation with the Eight of Cups. Or maybe they've had thoughts of moving away from the connection, or they have been tempted and maybe not valued the connection now, or they're not valuing the connection now, or they showed you that in their behaviour. But I think what I was saying before is that there's a realisation within them that they don't want that they don't want to walk away, or they don't want to be separate from you, or they don't want to choose, they want to choose you. We've got the Sun. Look, there you go. You got the Sun, and you've got the Hangman. Yeah, they've had some sort of shift. I feel like what's happened now is that maybe they put the situation in jeopardy, or they left the situation, or they thought there was something better, or they thought the grass was greener, or they're giving you the impression that they think the grass is greener, but in actual fact they realise that's not the case, because they've again looked at it from a different perspective, and they've realised they're becoming enlightened again. They're becoming enlightened that this connection is actually the connection that they want to be in, because you've got the Ten of Cups. So, but it might have been that they allowed themselves to be tempted with the Devil here, or they, the connection went through a toxic period, or it actually separated because of toxicity, negativity, them not valuing it, and now they want hope again in the situation because they have shifted their perspective. So now I would say they have learnt something. They've realised the value of the connection. I think they did always value it before, but maybe they forgot that along the way. They stopped valuing it, and now they've had a realisation. And now it might be that you think, well, that's a bit too late for me if they've, done something. But I would say from this person's point of view, how they feel about you now is deeper, right? It's deeper because you've gone through some sort of, maybe some sort of separation or some difficult time. And this person has, in that difficult time, realised that you mean how much you mean to them. Of course, whether you decide to forgive them or take them back is your choice. But this is how they feel. You are. It's brought home to them. The challenge, whatever challenges there were, which might have led to separation or not, has brought home to them the fact that you are the one for them, really. So we have got Gemini energy. We have also got Sagittarius, and we've got Gemini again, and we've got Aries, and we've got Capricorn, and we've got Pisces. Okay, and Leo as well, and Capricorn here. Yeah, okay, so let's get out some message cards from them to you, shall we? What are the message cards that we've got from pile number 1 to the person for now? So how they feel about them now. What have we got? We've got synchronicity. A divine soul counterpart relationship is blessed with amazing moments of synchronicity. Let's put that there. Okay, what other messages have we got for pile number 1 from their person, please? What other messages? What have we got? Temptation, exactly. Think carefully about the situation. So I feel this person was tempted in this connection, maybe by outside forces or something. And also, if this is like this person wanting to come toward you and have a new start, which it may be, this might be a message to you, pile number 1, because if something has gone on where they've shown that they can't be trusted, this is a message for you to say, think carefully about whether, and I've already said that, about whether you decide to take them back. It may seem very tempting, they may seem very tempting, but, if somebody has already sort of like displayed, behaviour that is not, where they haven't treated you right, then, they have to be very, very, very clear, and then they're not going to do that again. That's always my motto. If somebody has betrayed you in any way whatsoever, then that person has to be A, really, really, really sorry for it. B, be absolutely certain and sure that and saying to you that they would never behave like that again. And C, they have to prove that in their behaviour for quite a long time and continue to do that in the connection, because that is the only way in which you build a trust up again. So, this is what this card might be saying to you, pile number 1. There we go, I'm going to put that there. Let's have one more. Let's see what the message is. Or it might be that they just are incredibly tempted by you, that they want to be back with you, or they want this connection, but maybe there are still things in it that you need to work on, possibly. So you need to think carefully about it, even though it seems very tempting. What is their message? Or maybe they're saying they're thinking about it. They're thinking carefully about it as well. Deeply. So look deeply within to discover your soul purpose in your relationships. Lovely. Okay, so pile number 1, that has been your reading. I hope you've liked it. If you have, do consider giving me a thumbs up, subscribing and hitting that notification bell. But otherwise, have a great day. And I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now. Hey, pile number 2, welcome back to your reading. So today we are doing how your person felt about you then versus how they feel about you now, and we're just going to see if there's any difference with that, or whether it's the same, whether it's it's consistent. But let us get straight to it. So you chose to come into the reading under the Steampunk Tarot, plus this little pendant that I've got. So I've put it on this side, which is the moon side, and the other side is the star side. So there you go. So let's put our little pendant here where we can see it right there. Lovely. So let's get straight to it. So the Steampunk Tarot is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to push that over to one side because I'm going to look at some oracle first. How you all doing? Is everyone okay? That is the main thing. I hope that you are. Sending you all my love as always, and just reminding you, of course, that it's a general reading. So please just take the messages that resonate, and it's timeless. And if you feel like you like the reading at all, then please do give me a thumbs up. Just takes a second or two. It makes a huge difference to me. But thank you so much for doing that. But let us ask. So what I'm going to do, like I did with pile number 1, I'm just going to get some cards out on how they're feeling about you, or how they felt about you then, whenever then was for you, whenever the then is in your mind. And then we're going to look at how they feel about you now. So for pile number 2, please, how does their person feel about, or how did their person feel about them then? How did their person feel about pile number 2 then, back then? Let's have a look and see. How did they feel about them then? So we have Uranus, radically change. Or radical change, maybe. Okay. There we go with Uranus. And then let's have, how did they feel about pile number 2 back then? Okay, so we've got P, communication. Right, let's get out some tarot. Where are we? Here we go. So how did pile number 2's person feel about them back then? How did they feel about them back then? So we have the Knight of Cups. Funnily enough, the Knight of Cups come out in pile number 1 as well. We have the 9 of Cups. So did the 9 of Cups. We have the 6 of Swords. I think the 6 of Swords I might have done as well. We have the Ace of Pentacles. And we have the Death card. And then we have the 6 of Cups. Okay, well, I mean, back then, and I can see where there are some similarities here actually with pile number 1. But anyway, so back then, I would say your person was hugely, you, with the 9 of Cups and the 6 of Cups, I mean, you were a dream come true, I think, for them. You were someone, with the 6 of Cups being the overarching energy, who they really, really, really loved. The 6 of Cups is like a beautiful energy. It's a soulmate energy, really. It's an energy that's built on, friendship, love, cooperation, reconciliation. So back then, maybe for some of you, back then you're thinking about when a reconciliation took place, for some of you, with the 6 of Cups here. Or maybe it's a long-standing, you're talking about a long-standing connection. And back then it was a long-standing connection, or it was a connection with somebody that you've been with for quite a long time. And there was just a beautiful energy between you, or they felt then that there was a beautiful energy between you. And look, there was this romantic gesture of giving you flowers. The Knight of Cups is a really romantic card. So it makes me feel that, they wanted to demonstrate their love to you. Maybe they gave you lots of gifts. Maybe they took you out. Maybe they showed you how they felt very openly, very readily. They communicated with the communication being the number 2. So, you know, 2 is all about partnerships, relationships. So maybe back then they were very demonstrative. You know, they demonstrated to you with the Knight of Cups and the number 2 and the communication, you know, how much you meant to them. They made you feel, maybe back then they made you feel like you were number 1, that you were a massive dream for them, that you were somebody that they just couldn't get enough of with the 9 of Cups here, and that you were somebody that they wanted to have a beginning with. So maybe back then your thinking is also possibly the start of the relationship. You're thinking back to when you began the relationship with them, and they were full of good intentions, and they really, really, really were into you big time. And they wanted this beginning with you, and maybe it was a transformation from what it had been before, or maybe for some of you, you're thinking about when you reconciled again, possibly, you know, and how they felt about you at that time. So it was a reconciliation. They were all in on the reconciliation. They were wanting to be back in the connection with the 6 of Swords. They wanted to move back into something really positive with you, away from drama, away from difficulties. Maybe with the Uranus there had been problems, there had been issues, and through talking they wanted to, or through good communication, they wanted to get back on track with you. It was their wish, their desire to reconcile with you and to have this new beginning and transform it. So that could be how you're thinking back then, or it could be that you're thinking back to when it was just started, and it was maybe you were friends before, or maybe you'd known each other for a long time, and then it was transformed, and the wish, it was a wish fulfillment for this person to have this new connection with you, which was romantic with the Knight of Cups here. But they definitely felt a lot of love for you back then. They felt like you were their soulmate, their partner, the one that they wanted to be with, and there was a deep connection. And maybe there was some sort of transformation process that it went through, because we do have radical change. So maybe it changed the then that you're thinking about. There was a change that happened, or a shift that happened, that moved it into a more romantic phase, or moved it into a next level, or it kind of elevated, or something like that. Okay, so we have all of the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have all of the earth signs of Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. We have Scorpio again. Okay, so basically on the 6 of Swords is Aquarius energy. So those are just the zodiac signs of how they felt about you back then. They definitely was in love with you. They wanted to be with you. They wanted to show you how they felt. They wanted to demonstrate that you were the one for them. And they wanted this, they were very optimistic about the connection. Very, very optimistic about the connection. So let's see if that has changed, or how they feel about you now. And just to say, like I say, if you do like the reading, then do please give me a thumbs up. And also, I will be doing message cards at the end, so please do hang around for those. But let's get straight to it. So how does pile number 2's person feel about pile number 2 now then? How do they feel about pile number 2 now? So we have balance, and it says, may you find equilibrium in motion. So we've got balance. I'm going to have another one of those. How do they feel about pile, because we had 2 of these in pile number 1, so I'm going to do that. How do they feel about pile number 2 now? Allow. May you soften into what is. Allow and balance. Okay. I love all these cards because they have such beautiful images of water, and I obviously always love water, or being around the sea and all of that. Okay, so let's get out one of these. So how do they feel about pile number 2 now, please? How do they feel about pile number 2 now? So I feel like 2 of them want to come out again. So how do they feel about now? Action. We've got the Venus flytrap. Oh, action. Okay, that's card number 1. And then we have creation. number 2. Is that number 2 or number 11? Interesting. So we've got honey, grevillea, or grevillea. But even if it was 11, it still comes down to 2, doesn't it? Okay, so action and creation. So how do they feel about you now? Action and creation. Right, let's get some tarot. So how do they feel about pile number 2 now? How do they feel about pile number 2 now, please? So we have the Hermit. Okay, how do they feel about pile number 2 now? We have the 8 of Wands. Well, this came out in pile number 1. Let's move these up a little bit so we've got a bit of space here. We have the 6 of Swords. Now you've got the 6 of Swords under the 6 of Swords. That's interesting. Okay. How do they feel about pile number 2 now? The 10 of Pentacles. Right. How do they feel about them now? And then we've got the 8 of Pentacles. I feel like this one wants to come out, so I'm going to actually just take it, which is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so how do they feel about you now? Just trying to straighten up all these cards. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Sorry about this. Let's see what's at the bottom. The Ace of Wands. Okay, I would say that overall, the seed of passion, of desire, of attraction to you is still very much there. Okay, so there's still a strong, with the Ace of Wands, I would say there's still a strong attraction. Okay, 100%. Now, it may be that for some of you, with the Hermit card, now you are actually in separation, or you're not with this person with the Hermit card. And if that's the case, I would say they are wanting to have this new cycle with you, because the Ace of Wands is like a passionate new beginning. It's like a to start something with passion, with desire, with fire. So I'd say there's still very much an attraction for you, even if you are, for some of you, in separation. The 10 of Pentacles says to me they definitely still see you, 6 of Cups, as the person that they want to have a stable, committed relationship with, that they want to be strong with. Because the 10 of Pentacles is like a family situation. It's like, you know, you are settled, you are together, you have created a family for yourself, you've got all the generations of the family, you know, it's very, very stable. Now, what I would say is maybe the difference is maybe the situation then was based a lot around romantic love and, you know, it has an energy of something at the start, really. Whereas this has an energy of something which is sort of like matured and developed, if you know what I mean. So there's still love there, obviously, but it's not in that first flush of romance, if you know what I mean. So it's like a, you know, an example of that would be, you know, you might be together, have been together for a long time, and you are, you know, this person sees you as the person, you are their partner in a very kind of real way. So not necessarily an idealized way, but in a real way, in a concrete way. You know, you're the person that they live with, or you're the person that they want to live with. You're the person that they do the shopping with, or they, you know, that they do all the real things with. You know, and it's lost that kind of lovey-doveyness that you have maybe at the start of a relationship, but it's moved into something much more real and deeper, actually. So I would say that their feelings for you now are, you know, their feelings are very grounded, they're very stable, they feel very secure with you, they feel like they've mastered the connection. The 8 of Wands tells me that there is a lot of passion still there, there's still a lot of attraction, they're still very focused. The 8 of Wands is focused energy, all going in the same direction. So they're definitely still very much focused on the connection. It definitely still has a lot of fire for them. It definitely provides them with a lot of light, with a lot of hope, with a lot of, there's a lot of energy for it, a lot of enthusiasm for it. But what I would say, like I said, is maybe they're not as demonstrative, in a kind of traditional sort of romantic way. Maybe they're not as demonstrative, or they don't say maybe the same romantic things that they used to say, or they don't, demonstrate it in that way. But that's most relationships are like that, aren't they? After the first couple of years, because it's, you can't maintain that, you can't sustain that level of, it's just not real, like on an everyday level. So that's what I see here. It's like matured. It's like their feelings have matured for you. They haven't lost the fact that you are the one for them, that they want to be with you, that that you bring stability to them. And with the Knight of Swords, there's a lot of speed with this. So I feel like if you're in separation, and this person wants to do something in a speedy way to get it back on track, to start it up again. I feel like that might be what's going on with the two cards of speed. They might actually physically have to come towards you. Now, when I saw this card, before I saw the Knight of Swords, I immediately thought of the Two of Swords, right? Which is an energy of stuckness, of not being able to see a clear way forward. So maybe for some of you, now the situation is stuck, or it's not moving, or it's in separation. But because it's the Knight of Swords, I feel like this person now wants to move quickly towards the connection, to get it out of a stuck state, or to get it out of a state of, maybe with a Hermit, of kind of like you guys not being together, and start it up again with the Ace of Wands. The Hermit can also mean, again, the Hermit is a card of enlightenment. It's a card of where somebody has, gone through a journey to become more enlightened. So maybe this is also saying that they now feel that you and them have gone through a journey together. You've gone from, something at the beginning, you've moved through it, and it's basically a wiser connection, or it's a connection that has more depth to it. It has more, you connect, the two of you connect on a very deep level. You are, you connect spiritually, you connect emotionally, you connect mentally, right? So that's how this person now feels about you. So what do we have here? So we've got Virgo energy, we have got Sagittarius energy, we've got Aquarius, we've got Virgo again, and we've also got the other air signs of Libra and Gemini, as well as the other fire signs of Leo and Aries. Okay, so let's get out now then. Let's get out some message cards on how they feel about you now. Let's get some message cards out for pile number 2, please. How does that person feel about them now? How does that person feel about them now? What have we got here? So we've got openness. Be open to accept divine guidance in your relationship. Then we've got soul. Your soul is preparing to reconnect. Trust the process. Right, well, that's what we've been saying for some of you, isn't it? And then we've got spiritual. Your spiritual journey is beginning. Yeah, I feel like with the Hermit card, like this person now feels a much deeper bond with you. They always liked you. Back then, they always felt a strong urge of romance towards you. They felt very inspired by you. They felt like you filled their cup and all the rest of it. But I feel like through the journey of the connection, it's just deeper. It just feels like a much deeper connection for them. One more. How do they feel about pile number 2 now? How do they now feel about pile number 2? You've learned and this person feels like you've learned and you've grown together. Boundaries. Having sensible boundaries is important, and part of that learning and growing might have been that you've had to redraw the boundaries, or you've had to know what each other's boundaries are. You've gone through a journey of finding out what's acceptable to each other, because that happens in relationships. You have to learn that from each other, don't you? You learn about what ticks each other's boxes, or what how you what the other person appreciates or likes, that kind of thing. You've learnt that boundary So I feel like, you know, that's what's gone on here. You know, there's been an you know, you've grown. The connection has sort of grown through experience. You've learned a lot about each other, that kind of thing. So, or maybe there's been something in the connection which tested the boundaries. And now maybe this person is now feeling that they've learned something, and that coming forwards again towards you and having a new situation with you, they realise, you know, what the boundaries are really for you, you know, what you'll accept, what you won't accept. They've gone through a learning process. But anyway, pile number 2, that's been your reading. I hope you've liked it. If you have, please do consider giving me a like, give me a thumbs up, subscribing, hitting the notification bell. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now. Hey pile number 3, welcome back to your reading. Lovely to have you here. So we are doing a then versus now reading. So how did a person feel about you then, whenever then was for you, and how do they feel about you now? So you chose to come into the reading under the Cosmic Cycles Tarot with this little kind of this like little cone stone that I've got here. Just got some sort of marbling effect, Is it marbling? Not really sure, but anyway, it's quite pretty. So there you go. There's the stone. We're going to leave that there. And this is our tarot that we're going to use, but we're not going to do that straight away. So we're going to get some oracle cards out first. How are you all? Is everyone okay? I really hope so. Leave a comment. Let me know. And I just want to remind you, of course, it's general reading. So just take the messages that resonate, and it's timeless. And if you feel like you like the reading, then please do give me a thumbs up. That would be great. It just takes a couple of seconds, and it just means a lot to me, and, you know, whether I carry on doing readings, really, particularly if you like it. But anyway, let's get straight to it. So for pile number 3, first of all, what we're going to look at is, you know, how did your person feel about you then? So whenever then was, how did pile number 3's person feel about them then? How did their person feel about pile number 3 back then? Let's go for that one. What have we got here? Let's see. We have got conjunction with a union, merging and coming together. All right. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, let's get another one out. So how did they feel about pile number 3 back then? How did they feel about pile number 3 back then? Let's have a look and see what we've got. So we have got apple with continuance. Okay. Card number 26. Let's get out some tarot. Let's use our tarot now. So how did they feel about pile... Oh, that's too many. How did they feel about pile number 3 back then? How did they feel about them back then, please? And that one definitely wants to come out. So we've got the 9 of Swords. How did they feel about pile number 3 back then? We've got the King of Wands, the Sun. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, and we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Right, okay. And at the bottom, we've got the King of Pentacles. Gosh, that's what we've got, the Knight of then the King of Pentacles. So this person... this might have been, because that's why we got the conjunction. So maybe back then you were in a connection with this person, with the King of Pentacles. You were already in a connection with them, and this person had, you know, very positive feelings about you with the Sun card here being central. They felt like you were somebody that made them very happy. Very, you know, warm. There was a lot of warmth to you. They felt like, there was a lot of hope for the connection. But there's also some doubt here with the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords is worry and stress and doubt. I feel like this person definitely wanted to be in a connection with you, because you've got the union, the merging and the coming together. Maybe they wanted to make it very concrete and stable with the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Maybe if you weren't with them, this person was stressing about how they were going to make this happen, or how they were going to come towards you and have a connection with you with the Ace of Pentacles, how they were going to catch you. really, how they were going to catch you, how they were going to get you, how they were going to create a connection, a stable connection with you. That might have been causing them a lot of stress. Or maybe you were with this person, you know, back then you were with this person, it was a very stable, committed connection, but there was some stress in it. Maybe there was some threat to it, or this person felt there was some stress in it, and what they wanted was to hold on to the connection, to have it continue, but there was maybe some sort of threat or stress in it in some way back then. But they definitely felt, with all the pentacles here, that they wanted to create stability with you, that they wanted to secure the connection, they wanted to maybe catch the connection, build on the connection, get the connection to prosper. They had a lot of passion for you, a lot of attraction, a lot of desire. They wanted to invest. They definitely wanted to invest in the connection. They wanted to create something with the King of Wands here that was going to be wonderful. It was going to be wonderful. But maybe they had some doubts and some fears and some worries. Maybe they thought you did with the Nine of Swords here. Maybe they thought you were stressed or worried. I'm going to extend that Nine of Swords and just find out what that's about, because all the other cards are really, really positive. It was a lot about them wanting to build something solid with you. Build a solid foundation. Maybe create something from the ground up. So if you weren't with them, you move from the Ace of Pentacles, which is the seed of the connection, to the Knight of Pentacles, where you're growing it, you're building it, you're facing and overcoming your challenges, and you're getting to a point, right, where it is stable and secure and you feel happy, like the King of Pentacles here. And maybe if you weren't with them, there was some stress and fear about how they were going to try and get that to happen, or how they wanted that to happen. But if you were with them, they were sure that they wanted to move it up to the level where it was a committed and stable connection. But there were some doubts and some fears as well within them. So let's extend what that is. What was that? What are those doubts and fears about back then? What were they about? Oh, so we've got too many here. So we've got these. I'm going to take the ones that I can see. So I can see these ones, which is the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and then the Nine of Wands. And then I can see this one at the top, which is the Six of Pentacles, and that's the only one that I'm going to take, and the rest I'm going to leave. Right, so I think there was a lack of confidence somehow. They had some sort of lack of confidence. They wanted to stand up for the connection, certainly. So maybe there was something about the connection, and it could be that, you know, it was a connection which wasn't, you know, you weren't together at that point when you're thinking about the back then. And this person, maybe it was for somebody, it was like a work attraction or a work crush or whatever back then, you know, the first bit of the very first part of when you felt like you were attracted to them, but you weren't maybe together. Maybe you're thinking about it back then. And the fear was around, you know, can I make this grow? Can I make this happen? Can this connection, can it grow with the Seven of Pentacles here? So maybe there was some doubt about that. Maybe they had some self-confidence issues with the Nine of Wands. Maybe they felt somehow they had to fight for your attention, or fight for your, for your attention somehow. And also with the Six of Pentacles, there's something about maybe feeling that they wouldn't be enough for you. Something like that. So I feel like their fears and they had fears and doubts back then. It was to do with them not feeling confident, not feeling, you know, wondering about whether they would be able to make the connection grow, whether they would be able to master the connection, whether they'd be able to get your attention, whether they would be able to be good enough, whether they would be able to provide stability and security. So maybe in this person, there's a big emphasis for this person on being able to materially provide in a connection, or, you know, being able to support you in a sort of traditional way. So maybe there's something that this person feels with all the pentacles here that's important in a connection, and they wanted to be able to do that for you. And maybe there were some doubts about whether they'd be able to provide for you and offer you something solid and stable, and sort of financially support you, or practically support you. Something like that. Because there's a lot of emphasis on pentacles in this, how they felt about you then. So I think with this back then, this person was really important for this person to be able to offer you something, what they thought was offering you something that was stable and solid and secure. So there's a focus for them on what they can materially provide for you in a connection. That's their, maybe that's their love language. That's how they show someone that they care about them, you know, by providing all that stability and security and, you know, being financially settled, something like that. And maybe there was some fear that they wouldn't be able to do that, or a lack of some sort of insecurity there, something like that. But they definitely wanted to, you know, back then they saw you as somebody that they were serious about, that they wanted to be serious in offering a very stable connection where they're, you know, where it's quite sort of traditional and they are the provider. And there's nothing wrong with, I'm not knocking that, I'm just saying that that's you know, that they have that very kind of masculine energy of being the provider and the person who you know, supports their partner and supports the family in that kind of traditional way, really. Okay, they wanted to be a serious contender. They weren't thinking that this connection was just a fling or anything like that. And basically, I think back then you just made them really happy. There was a huge sense of happiness. You stood out to them. I think you really stood out to them. And maybe if you weren't together at that point, they were really looking at you. This person looks like she's looking through something. They were really looking at you. They were really aware of you. And they were very attracted to you. Okay, so what have we got in terms of the zodiac signs? So we've got all of the fire signs of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, obviously with the sun as well with Leo. And then we've got all of the earth signs of Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. And we have got Gemini energy. Right, so now let's see how they feel about you now. So they were definitely serious about you even back then. They saw, you know, they were willing, they wanted to overcome any challenges and to begin this connection. But there were some worries for them. There were some stresses for them. Right, okay, so let us get out some oracle on how they feel about you now. So how does pile number 3's person feel about pile number 3 now? How do they feel about them now? Just this is very specific for some of you. Maybe this person was your boss. Maybe you're thinking about your boss and how they felt about you. So maybe they had a lot of feelings about you in terms of wanting to have a connection with you, in terms of wanting to be with you. But maybe there were a huge amount of stress with that because it wouldn't be appropriate or because it wasn't the right, it wasn't the right environment maybe to tell you how they felt, something like that, rather. So how do they feel about you now? How do they, that's very specific. How do they feel about you now? Decide, may you navigate with purpose, right? How do they feel about part number 3 now? Shine, may you be a lighthouse. Okay. Decide and shine. Sorry, I have to say this. It's funny because it says, may you be a lighthouse. For those people that have watched my tarot channel for a while, it's funny because today I was having, not just today, I mean, I've been having these thoughts for quite a while, but of creating another channel and calling it calling it Lighthouse Tarot, which was going to be sort of a channel around other kind of more spiritual topics and also maybe zodiac signs and stuff. So that's just, I don't know why I need to say that, but you know, if you, in the comments, if you feel like you'd, would support that kind of channel for me, which I would be calling it Lighthouse Tarot, where I don't do romantic readings, but I do readings around more spiritual topics and, you know, maybe doing zodiac readings every month and stuff, then do let me know in the comments whether you think that's something that you'd be interested in. I'd really be interested in hearing from you. But anyway, I just wanted to say that as a side. It was calling me to do that. But anyway, let's have a look for pile number 3. So how do they feel about pile number 3 right now? What are their feelings for them now? What are they feelings for them now? Trust, wild rose, beautiful. Beautiful. Wild rose, card number 40. Decide, shine, trust. Let's have the tarot. Let's see what we got here. Let's move it up here. So, how does pile number 3's person feel about them now? And I'm also at the end going to be doing some message cards about how they feel about you now. So hang on till the end for that. So how do they feel about you now? I'm going to take these here. Let's have a look and see what they are. So we've got Temperance, the 7 of Cups. What have we got here? We've got the Queen of Cups. Okay. How do they feel about you now? Let's move it along slightly. How do they feel about pile number 3 now? The Tower, my goodness, okay. And then, I feel like it's that one. Oh, no, hang on, maybe not. How do they feel about you now? No. How do they feel about you now? Yeah, there we go. And we've got the Knight of Swords. Okay, let's just quickly look at the bottom of the deck. How do they feel about you now? The 8 of Swords. Right. Gosh, this is a funny one. How do they feel about you now? So there's a sense of stuckness with the 8 of Swords being the overarching energy. So they are stuck in some way. So there's still that anxiety around the connection. Maybe they don't feel secure. Maybe they don't feel secure in the connection. Because we've also got the Tower card, which is when something comes down, there's an instability to it. I feel like this person doesn't feel secure in this connection, if I'm honest. And funnily enough, look, there you go. As I've said that, even though this is about then, that might have also been, with the Tower card, how they felt then. So they had some sort of insecurities or feeling that somehow this connection wasn't stable. And funnily enough, back then they were trying to create a lot of stability, weren't they? So maybe they were trying to create stability because underlying it all was this kind of feeling then that the connection was unstable, or it wasn't secure, or there were stresses in it. And I think that that is still here, right? So they still feel the connection has some instability to it, or has some insecurity for them, or could come tumbling down. And that might be because, and funnily enough, you've got the word trust. There's something about them that doesn't trust it, or that doesn't, that they've got like some sort of insecurity within them, which means they find it hard to be to feel like something would last, or so something like that. There's some insecurity within them. They are not, maybe they're not stable with the 7 of Cups, because the 7 of Cups is also like some sort of wishy-washy energy. So I feel like this person wants balance. They definitely want balance. They don't want to feel like that with a Temperance. And how they feel about you now is that they want balance in the connection, right? And with the Queen of Cups, they still, I would actually say their feelings have actually deepened for you. They've become more sort of in touch with their emotions or their deep feelings for you. They have a lot of admiration for you. They care a lot for you. But there's something in this situation which makes them feel insecure and unstable. And it could be because of their own fears and doubts and insecurities rather than anything that you are doing, right? So I would say they want the connection to shine. They want to trust the connection. But with the Decide card, there's something in them that sort of finds it difficult to trust the connection, or maybe trust themselves in the connection. There's some insecurity to it, but it's more about their stuff. It's maybe more about maybe it's got something to do with their inability to commit. So back then they might have been really trying very hard to show themselves as somebody who's very committed, who wants stability, security, but maybe that's something that they find difficult to do, and maybe now that's kind of all coming out, that they sort of unraveling a little bit, that they can't that they, although they care for you, they can't give you that commitment that they'd love to be able to give to you. There's something about that, even though they really want it. I feel like they really want to be balanced in themselves, but there's some issues, some health issues, maybe some mental health issues or some instability within them that makes that really challenging for them. Now, this Knight of Swords came up in pile number 2. And when I first saw this card, I thought of the Two of Swords, right, which is a sense of stuckness. But we've got the Knight of Swords, which is an energy, a very swift energy, but it's often an energy that can come in and out very quickly. So I feel like this person, it has unstable feelings. Their feelings are not, or not even, it's not even their feelings, it's that their actions are not stable maybe at the moment. So I think they know how they feel, but maybe it's scaring them. Maybe their level of feeling for you is somehow scaring them. And maybe they're feeling like they want to leave quickly because they can't quite handle maybe the depth of their feeling for you. Maybe it's scary for them because we've got the Eight of Swords, which is, again, this feeling of stuckness, not really knowing what to do next. And it could have been that back then somehow maybe back then there was some feeling that they couldn't somehow hold on to the connection, or the connection was going to end. So they might be stuck in a bit of a negative loop of thinking with the Nine of Swords here. Because the Nine of Swords is often about us overthinking things, because Swords is all about thinking and always thinking negatively. So getting caught up in negative thoughts all the time. So I think they had that back then, but maybe they were, trying to be stable, or trying to show that they could offer something stable. But I think now they're not able to show it so much because it's much more prevalent. So I think they're maybe you might even be in separation from this person, or maybe the behaviour's a little bit of erratic, or it's unreliable. Maybe they, for some of you they might ghost you and then come back towards you. They might give mixed messages. They're not reliable. But it isn't because they do care about you. But that's not in any way for me saying to you, because they care about you, you should put up with that kind of behaviour, because you shouldn't. But there's something about this person that maybe feels stuck. Maybe they feel stuck in a pattern of thought, or stuck in a dynamic, or stuck in a behaviour pattern which they know is not right, but they don't know how to deal with it. And they want to be balanced, but they're not there yet. So I would say their feelings for you now are that they do care about you, but they are not able to be reliable, or not able to be steady or secure. And maybe at the start they tried desperately hard to do that, but I think now they realise that they can't provide that. But you're still a dream for them, you're still a wish for them, you're still someone that they really care about, but they just can't provide stability. And when they try and do that, it makes them feel stuck. Something like that. It could be that now you're in separation from them. Maybe now you're in separation from them. Maybe now the situation has fallen. It feels heavy. It feels stuck for them. With the Knight of Swords, maybe they want to try and communicate with you, but it feels like it's out of reach somehow. The connection feels like it's out of reach for them. And maybe it's because they can't offer anything balanced to you, or they want to strive for balance, but it's difficult for them to be able to provide that for you, or to provide that in the connection. So so that's how I think they feel about you now, how they feel about the connection now. So we've got what we've got. So we've got Sagittarius, we've got Scorpio, Pisces and Cancer. And we've also got Libra, Aquarius and Gemini. So, I mean, this is reading slightly different to pile 1 and 2. Yeah, so I feel like this person is sort of mentally maybe a little bit unstable or unsure about how to be in a connection or a stable connection. And that might have been very difficult for you, pile number 3. So I'm going to ask, what is your advice, actually? Which is not what I did in pile number 1 and 2, but I feel like this one we need to. So what is pile number 3's advice in this connection? What is their advice? What's the advice for them, please? What is the advice for pile number 3 in this connection? So we have the 5 of Cups. We have the 4 of Cups. And we have the 2 of Pentacles. What is your advice? I'm going to have one more. What is your advice, please? What is pile number 3's advice? I think the advice is for you to care for yourself, to put yourself first in this situation, to say no, right? Say no if this person is somebody that wants to come back or wants to have another cycle with you or offers you something. I think your advice is to say no, actually, to say no to it, to remember that it can be quite painful, this connection, to focus on maybe what's gone wrong in the situation or the pain in the situation, how that has made you feel, the fact that it's unpredictable with the 2 of Pentacles here, that it's choppy, that you are constantly kept guessing possibly, and to be, to sort of take charge of yourself with the Emperor here, to have strong boundaries, to know your own self-worth, to not allow, as difficult as it is for this person, and if people have got insecurities and worries and troubles, of course, we want to have empathy for that, don't we? And we want to be caring for that. But if you're on the receiving end of somebody that is not being stable or secure, or you don't know where you stand, or they're kind of all over the show, then you have to at some point say, I can't, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Because it's hurtful to me, because it's difficult for me, because I don't want to be messed around anymore like that. I don't want that kind of energy. So I at some point need to redraw the boundary for myself and put myself first and look after myself. And I think that's what the advice for you here is, pile number 4. Not pile number 4, sorry, I was thinking of the Emperor there. Pile number 3, which is to put yourself first and not allow yourself to be tempted back into a situation which is essentially not going to offer you very much, or might cause you more pain, kind of thing, as to take charge of your own destiny, your own way forwards, if you like, to draw your boundaries and not be swayed by, also to not be swayed by your emotion, but to think rationally, to think logically. Is this really the right connection for me? Is this the really right path for me? Based on what has gone on before and how this person is presenting, something like that. Okay, so let's get out some message cards anyway. Let's see what they are. See if it sheds any light on it. So what are the messages for pile number 3 now, please? In this, with this. Sorry, let's move that over with this reading. What are their messages? Let's have a look, see what we've got. It's a message for pile number 3 with this reading. We've got 2, let's see what they are. So we've got surprise, you may be about to be surprised, okay. And then you've got Cupid, love is in the air when Cupid's around. So this might be, what I personally, the way I would intuitively read these cards actually, is that maybe it's about letting go of this connection. It's about letting go of it, releasing it. And once you do that, you'll be surprised at what's coming in for you with the Cupid. Because Cupid, to me, implies new love. It implies, that new love is coming for you. New love is around the corner for you. And it's a surprise, maybe you're not expecting it. But I would say that that's how I would read these two cards for you, pile number 3. That, if you release something that's not right for you, you'll be surprised at what else can come up for you, what other new love can come in for you. So that's how I would read that, pile number 3. But anyway, that has been your reading. I hope you have liked it. If you have, please do hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you always know when I'm uploading. But otherwise, have a great day, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.